The Boston Bruins in the 1970s had a lot of players that didn't fully make the team but were still fan favorites, especially amongst their Ontario-based fans who thought this player was going to be part of a Stanley Cup run, but unfortunately due to circumstances beyond his control and the team's control, it didn't work out. But for the time he played in Boston, he was a very effective player. And, in retirement, he's sort of kind of become a legend in his home region. We're going to talk a little bit about the guy with the outstanding facial hair that all the people from back in the day in my generation said, I wish I had a facial hair like him. Of course, it's the great Hank Nowak. Now, Henry Stanley Hank Nowak, born November 24, 1950 in Oshawa, Ontario, played 180 games in the NHL with the Penguins, the Red Wings, and the Bruins. Now, he was drafted 87 overall in 1970 by the Philadelphia Flyers. It was mostly because of his strong major junior career. Now, with the Oshawa Generals over 2 seasons, he had 19 goals in 79 games, and the 1970 campaign was his best with 39 points in 53 contests. Now, the Flyers decided to send him to their affiliate, the Quebec Aces, in 1971, where he put up 9 points in 49 games. 72, the Richmond Robins, mostly in an aggressive checking line style, 5 points in 62 games. But in 73, when he moved on to the Hershey Bears, he had 47 points in 66 games, including 25 goals in the regular season. So he showed good prospect. Now, Nowak's style of play, again, he was a disciplined checker, and the word grinder could really apply to him. He was able to score key goals, but also was strong on the penalty kill and the 5-on-5. Now, a very strong player, 6 feet 190, probably one of the strongest players on the Bruins during his years there. Eventually was traded to the Penguins, which opened up his career. Now, after 13 games with Pittsburgh in 74, he spent, again, most of the season in Hershey with those 33 goals. Now, he was eventually traded in May 74 into Detroit. Now, that year, he had 22 goals in 56 games for rebuilding Wings, but he was then traded to Boston with Earl Anderson for Walt McKechnie, of all people, because Walt would have pads would travel. Now, in the 75 NHL playoffs, he scored one goal. In 76, he played 10 games for Boston when he reached the Stanley Cup semifinals. Now, on February 7, 1976, Nowak played in Darryl Sittler's NHL record-setting game when Boston played the Toronto Maple Leafs. That was the night that Sittler set an NHL record for most points scored in one game when he recorded 10 points, including 6 goals and 4 assists. But this is where the legend begins. Nowak has claimed in published reports that despite the 11-4 loss, that evening he was still +3. So, like he said, you can't blame it on me because I was on the bench for Sittler's majority of goals. And statistics are kind of rough, but you tend to believe the legend a little bit. Now, when he retired from competitive hockey in 1980, he went on to work for the Toronto Transit Commission, and he's currently retired from the TTC. Now, Nowak has also played occasionally in the ASHL for the Toronto Blue Hogs, and he also, through the years, played occasionally in tournaments with some Blue Hog alumni, and of course, his talented son, Clinton. Now, after leaving the Bruins, where he scored 18 goals over part of 3 seasons. He played with Rochester, where he scored 12 goals, with the Binghamton Dusters in 78 when he scored 20. He played with 3 teams in 79, Philadelphia, Cape Cod, and Utica, where he had 34 goals in 76 games. In 79-80, he had 20 combined goals with Saginaw and the Toledo Gold Diggers of the IHL. Now, AHL totals, an even 100 goals and 222 points in 377 games, mostly based on that 57 goals with Hershey over those 2 key seasons in the Penguins system. And NHL, decent totals, 180 games, 56 points, and 26 goals, including those 13 goals 13 games in back-to-back playoff appearances for Boston. Now, to me, in my opinion, I don't know what happened when he moved out of the Bruins system after a strong part of the '77 campaign, but I think all the youth movement for Boston started to build up, and Hank kind of lost his place a little bit, but it doesn't take away from his legend because. I've heard through the grapevine, through my media in Ontario, he's a great storyteller, he's a great representative for the Boston legend, as we say, and for one, the NHL needed players like Hank Nowak that basically turned in fourth liners when he got out of hockey. They basically gave back the game in many ways, either on the senior hockey level, the coaching level, or the legend level, and every level. He can say he played in the game that made Darryl Sittler a superstar. How many people can say that? And he played with some of the best players in Pittsburgh history, Detroit history, and Boston history of the 1970s. So, just a tremendous overall career. So that's a legend of Hank Nowak. If you like what we're doing here, give us a like, comment, and subscribe. And requests are always appreciated and sometimes tolerated. Have a good day. Bye.